Good morning, good morning. Well, hello. All right, also, it's a really good morning. So at the time of this recording, I'm feeling, not feeling, but I'm seeing very bearish price action on the stock market. The formation is there. Hang on. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And it's finally Friday, It's that day of the week again. And I can't believe that it's already here again. And we're finished with another week. Um, so just want to say welcome back to the stream. And well, let's see. Today I have things to share with you in terms of like what I've been looking into the markets. Um, Last night I was just trying to update my markings, and I ended up finding this really good position on the US 100, or in this case, it's like the hang on, just a little too left for my taste. So I ended up finding a really good position on the higher time frame based on the what we've been looking at this entire week, which is like the creation of a sub program. So you can see we have our A to B leg that has been collecting sell stops, no form of SMT, by the way. So it's no way of us confirming a buy program at this time until we started doing this, right? We're tracing back up. Now we were referencing to these old highs, seeing what will give us a cracking correlation on the highs, and we did. We ended up finding one right here. It was the London buy side liquidity based on Thursday. If I'm correct, none of them tapped. Yeah, the US Dow didn't tap it. The US 500 didn't tap it. Where are you? The 500 didn't tap it. And the Dow didn't tap it, but we tapped it here on the on on US 100. So if we tapped it on US 100, but not on the other ones, that's a good indication of SMT, right? So we found a cracking correlation high, right? In a phantom leg where we should be seeing old highs be referenced, so that we can finally initiate a sell side delivery program, right? So you'll see that once we create that high, we expand it down lower. So this was our displacement. We displaced below 75%, which is this level up here. And now we're looking for a retracement back up into premium. Take the highest premium array and let it see if it can keep going down low. What I do feeling optimistic about this short is that all these lows that we see here above have all been referenced. You see that they all have yellow markings. That means they've all have been referenced in the form of SMT through another indice. So even though the US 100 hasn't touched some of these, as you can tell, the Dow, and I keep calling it Dow, but it's the US 30 and the US 500, both have been selling aggressively to this thing. Okay. Yeah. There we go. So all up to here have been referencing that low up to these lows here from base from Tuesday. So even up to here, they will have been referenced by US Dow up to here. Monday's lows here, they haven't been referenced just yet. So I'm anticipating a big bearish run. It could take another week. we could just consolidate up here, close for the week, and then next week we can just initiate that sell program, just continue to go down lower, right? It's what I would like to see, because all these lows have already been referenced by someone else. So these could be easy targets to refer back to when we go back down, trade them down lower through the US 100 market. Something else is that overnight price action. So we're talking Asia, London, you know, the those sessions. There hasn't been any liquidity referred back to. Like every liquidity that has been left behind has been referred. So there's nothing else. There's no other business to be up here, but to there is no other price action that the algorithm can refer to. So I'm really liking this price action, and I really do believe we're gonna start to head down lower, either this session or this upcoming session at 9:30, or even next week. The information is there. Also, we look at our intermarket analysis. Dollar is posting a green candle today, meaning for a risk-off scenario. So, not that the stocks can go up higher, but it'll be struggling to do so if they are to. The structure in play is as follows. We had this bullish breaker. You'll see that I have a position open, actually. That's based on the higher time frame. Let me see. I'm not going to show you yet. Here it is. So here's our inception of our sell program, low to high. You'll see our flags marked. And it expanded down lower, 25%. Closed down below it too. Retraced back up. I got into that order block right here. Low to high. This buying price action before it had that change in steer delivery. That's the order block entry that I'm entering. It's because it's not 25%, and it's also not. It's almost at the highest premium, from the 75% up to the extreme high. So that's why I got into that trade. And I'm looking to hold this position for over the weekend, just kind of like to practice on holding what it's like to hold over the weekend. Um, so that's why you see an open position right there. I also had another one here waiting for me right down here to take an inverse action play based on the bullish breaker that we have formed around here. So I would have liked for it to close down below it and then refer to it as it's going back up and sell. What I'm really liking too is that it's in between two old session sell side liquidity ones and hold high. So I will take the midpoint of that event horizon, get it on the premium side of it, and then sell things down lower. Just kind of like a more thing, something else to add on along too. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and update my markings here. Okay, so we have this formation still holding, so it's a high, low, lower, low, lower, high. This high couldn't break the high of the inception high here, so I'm referring to this price action as a bullish breaker. Right from this low to high is the whole bullish breaker scenario, but to get down to the specifics, this would be my ideal breaker to take things going up. Okay, so I'm still holding on to this idea that we could break down below this old breaker. And seeing if that will hold price to go to the sell. And what am I also saying here? Okay, we'll see a little bearish breaker form here on top of it too. So maybe that will be the, the catalyst to help us continue to begin that sell program. Okay, just want to confirm what I saw. Yellow, yep. So this was our bearish breaker, a bearish PDA, right? Notice that as soon as we opened up at 9 o'clock, traded through it. Now we want to see it like a support, right? But we're again in this higher time frame sell program. So I don't want to see it hold. I want to see it close below it actually. As well as you'll see that in the higher time frame. Not here. Oh, I'm so upset about something. Hang on. Okay, so now we're trading. We closed below that bullish breaker. Now we want to see it act as an inverse array. We also had this bearish breaker block as well. So see what happens here. I don't want to see this trade as a breaking through it. I mean, this worries me. This dealing range for this higher this low. I think I'm gonna wait till 9:30, see what the new structure's in play. Excuse me. Let's see what it wants to do today. 928. Okay, this is gonna be interesting once we hit 930. 23, 445.3. Okay, so it's 930 market open. I wonder if we're gonna use this external range to reverse and then use that to get on the sell. This would be the bearish order block. Bearish order block, bearish, bearish breaker. Notice how perfectly it just wicked into that little balanced price range. Okay, high to low. Mm. Wow, I just realized there's another little mitigation right here blocker. Yep, price expanded up higher, wick down below the bearish breaker, and then we had a failure swing, so we had a bullish block right there. Okay, now we're pushing up these old highs right here, anticipating turtle soup to sell down short. Okay, we tapped the highs. Wonder if that's the exact measurement for for event horizon between this high and this low. Look at that, folks. It just keeps rallying higher. You know what I enjoyed watching was this little bullish mitigation block. And I'm sorry I went quiet there for a bit. I was just so focused on price action right there. But look at this. The moment 9 o'clock hit, we formed this high to low. 9:15 hits. Apologies. 9 to low. 9:15 hits onward until 9:30. What do we see? Another high or low. So this high to low little price range, that's a sell side delivery that was met with buy side delivery instantly. That's my little bullish mitigation block. Why? Because it's a higher low compared to this low right here. So it's a low, higher low, failure swing, continues upwards. 9:30 hits. Okay, we open up here. We didn't break up the high until 9:30, 9:30 and 1 second. We could anticipate. Price formed this high after the 1 second mark. 9:30, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. It's forming up this high. We're creating a new candle. So I don't count that new price action. I encapsulate whatever's inside here. And whatever formation I got that was balanced, which was this little mitigation block, I push that forward. That's going to be relevant to me for the next 15 minutes. Price taps into that failure swing on the 60 time frame. You saw it wick perfectly. Retraces back down to where that bullish order block, that bullish mitigation block, wicks it again and expands aggressively higher. Now, I'm not seeing any form of resistance here. This was like my highest tolerance in terms of seeing a sell occur. So we'll see what's going to happen. This is a higher time frame play, so anything can happen, right? But we still have these pre-market buys and liquidity from yesterday. Yeah, that was already referred back anyway, so these guys were referred back to. If this little consolidation was kind of like the price action that we needed to reverse price, yeah. Not only did we expand higher, didn't even break out turtle soup, but we retraced back down lower, referring to something that was balanced here and expanded higher. This might have just been a change in the state of delivery right there. Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to see these old highs get pierced. Look at that. Let's see here. Where is our first percentage? taking a picture of this for my studies. So if we're not gonna fill this, right, to go down lower, and we're seemingly trying to change the bias to go upwards, we had these higher time frames with this 15 bullish breaker and a 30U bullish breaker that are implied, and the moment the news cycle began, they needed to be filled quickly. So let's see here. Yeah, the moment their cycle began, they had to be filled quickly after, before time runs out. We're seeing that huge expansion be lifted now, right? You see that even in the 15 unit, price was still just wicking down below down there and eventually met its objective. Now, if we're gonna go up higher, I'm interested in seeing this high now get filled. The high formed at Thursday at 10 a.m. So I'm gonna decrease my stop loss here. Essentially meaning this new high. Okay, so if that's where we're gonna go. And we should probably do this until before 11:30. Okay, if we're gonna get up to these highs now. Wondering if we had this consolidation or this balanced price action, this leg that expanded upward, would this be considered our breakaway gap? Meaning that price should not come back to fill this gap again. Wonder. Because we had an institutional order flow entry drill here. We're looking to fill this before 11:30. First percentage fair value gap was in a way used, or it's going to be used, to target that needed high. Okay, so if it taps me out here, I'm okay with it. Out my ears. So that took me out of it. So now, what I've been studying as well is how have the first presented fair value gaps being used to target old session highs and old session lows that are needed, that haven't been referred by anybody of the sisters. So in this case, we haven't referred back to these liquidity pools. So the moment we formed the first presented at 9:30, right? 9:31 should be the first one. How was that first presented used to be able to take price up to that higher level? So it wasn't this one either, because in this buy side delivery, we had this buy side, sell side here is balanced. So this shouldn't be referred to. Doesn't qualify. This would have qualified as our first presented right here. And if we're gonna aim up for this liquidity pool, yeah. The only thing that would have made me comfortable is that you would have had to have a very huge stop loss, 17 handles. So we don't want to enter on it. We should just see it as a PD rate that we can read our price charts from. Just curious, yeah. Right, so I'm going off the idea that we're referring back to an old high. Right, so now since it's closed above it, it should be treated as support. We went ahead to rebalance this little fair value gap, expand it up higher. Now we're re-challenging it, that old low, so it should be like a reclaimed old high. So we want to be using it as a discount now. And that's what I'm setting in my stop loss zone. Just testing something here. And I'm usually done for the week by Fridays mornings. I don't come back on PM sessions to try and trade it. So kind of just like my last session for the week. Let me get rid of that sound. It's a little bit harsh for my ears. I think once price meets up to this high, I'm gonna close the stream. So it's 10 o'clock now. Let's see here. Did I cancel that annoying noise? All right, so what did we see? So we saw two directions playing out this morning. So when we first clocked in, I told you guys that we were going to be heading down lower because we had initiated finally, after a long time, we were looking for that intermediate sub program so that we can finally get price down to a deeper discount to continue this bullish price action. Price provided me an entry around 9 o'clock last night. That's the entry I was looking forward to continue that sell. As well as all these lows were already referred to by the other sisters of the US 100. So it'll be US 30, US 500 to head down lower, right? This morning, however, we saw price consolidating around these two important levels, right? These was sell side ones before, that used to be an old high. As price was consolidating up here, we were looking for reasons to get into a bearish PDO race or premium PDO race to be able to just continue that sell to collect all these old lows. Price was challenging those levels and was spending a lot of time doing so. That was the first strike, consolidating around those levels for a while. That starting to hint that probably we could see a reversal coming soon. 930 shows up, expands up higher, tackles wicks about that balanced price range that I had highlighted up here. Right, you guys saw it in real-time action. Like, I did not make it up. I'm not backtest. I'm not doing the time stuff. I'm literally live streaming this as we speak. So I had marked this little buys, this little area here as my balanced price range. Price wicked to it, just above it, and then based on what's it called? Based on hindsight, we had this little sell side that was met with buy side as well. So this little tiny area was balanced. We referred to it. Price wicked on it again, coming back down, and then immediately displaces higher. Right, met with institutional sponsorship. We had our first presented fair value gap here that was really wide. Didn't even want to reach down to consequent encouragement, so that shows cases what speed, right? Speed. We met up to this old high here, which was the pre-market from Thursday's buy-side liquidity. Well, proud. So price then retraced. Okay, you see that it kind of rebalanced this old fair value gap, as well as in the higher time frame. We're seeing that the objectives of the time cycle were getting met. So for the 15 unit time cycle, we saw that it was getting met right on time before 11:30, and now we're looking to see if it will meet the objective of this old high to be met before 11:30. And I tell you that once we hit up to this level, this is our futures data, by the way, so it's 10 minutes behind. So while the CFDs have already tapped that high, the futures have yet to tap it. So if we're looking to get this filled quickly before 11:30, and we're seeing this aggressive price action higher, I was looking to get into a small, very small scalp. Y'all saw it, right? It was based on using this old high here as support. You see that once price re-challenged up that high again, we wanted to see it act as a discount to support price action to go up higher. I got into an order block here. Price consolidated a little bit longer and eventually ended up meeting our profit objective, which was the time cycles, the 30-unit time cycle implied bullish breaker to fill quickly, right? So if this fills quickly, then I guess that just leaves us to reach up to these old highs and eventually reaching up to future new stock market highs. And with that, I'll close it there for now. I'm glad that we didn't. If you lost money today, and you had a stop loss and it got triggered, just be glad you didn't lose any more than you should have. If you made money today, congratulations. And that's how the game works. So I hope you enjoyed this week's live stream. I'll be editing Fridays and yesterdays and studying over the weekend, reviewing some charts and stuff. And yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll do a study session for Saturday. Just kind of live stream and seeing if you guys would be interested in getting your questions answered. Because I've been studying this stuff for a while, and I'm somewhat beginning to see some results, but it's really challenging with how you manage yourself pre and post trading markets for the day. That's all it really comes down to. But I'll probably save that for another video. Anyways, if you like this live stream, let me know. Give it a like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright, take care.